With it being announced recently that Tokyo Disneyland is about to undergo a massive expansion, let's dive into what all of this means up next. Hi there Waltoners, I'm Jack, this is DSNY Newscast, and yes, for once I'm going to say it. Go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel. Also check out Universal Newscast, as Will came back yesterday with a fantastic episode all about Super Nintendo World, and now let's just jump right into it. So not often on DSNY Newscast do we discuss the Japanese and Chinese Disney parks. But over the last couple of days, quite a lot of news has come out about the new lands and also expansions coming to these different resorts. But before we get into all the big news about Tokyo Disneyland, Disney released yesterday these brand new pieces of concept art detailing the attractions that will be featured within Shanghai Disneyland's Toy Story Land, which is more along the lines of the Toy Story lands at Disneyland Paris and Hong Kong Disneyland, rather than the 11-acre Toy Story Land that's currently being built, scheduled to open in summer of next year at Disney's Hollywood Studios. But within the concept art, we can see that it will have the RC Racer attraction from Hong Kong and Paris. But this time it will be called Rex's Racer. Along with this new attraction is a toddler-friendly Slinky Dog Spin ride. That is, needless to say, far from what is currently being built with Slinky Dog Dash over at Walt Disney World. And there is even a newly themed swinging whip ride system similar to Mater's Junkyard Jamboree or the Alien Swirling Saucers ride. But this time it's going to be themed around Woody's Roundup with Bullseye pulling the wagons. Anyways, now let's move on to Tokyo Disneyland, as that's what you clicked on this video for. As it was announced yesterday that the Oriental Land Company, who own Tokyo Disneyland Resort, have begun discussing a major investment into the resort for around $2.4 billion, with an official announcement to be made in May of 2018, and the construction is set to begin in 2025. However, as many different sites have wrongly reported this information, it's not going to be a third park in addition to the two parks at Tokyo Disneyland Resort, but instead it's going to be a 30% increase to the existing parks of Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea overall. Now, the only real locations where this expansion could go is this area here. That would use up some of the existing ground level parking, as Tokyo Disneyland have announced that they're going to be building a 4,000 space parking structure as part of the plans. But the only word at the moment about the new lands is that one of the new lands could be themed around traditional Japanese culture. Now here's where it gets interesting, as in the past we know that the Oriental Land Company have been extremely cautious in what they build, as they often want to see that a new land or concept or ride is a proven success elsewhere before bringing it to their resort. So my guess would be that this new 30% expansion area could be for either Pandora, the world of Avatar, or their own Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. But the only issue is that these two movie franchises are nowhere near as popular or as big in Japan. So where does that leave us with the new expansion area? Well, it could be that we might see a return of the frozen port concept at Tokyo Disney Sea that was initially planned to be coming and then it was later cancelled. Or then again, another popular contender could be a Marvel-themed area that would logically expand the Tomorrowland section of Tokyo Disneyland, much like Hong Kong Disneyland are building within their resort. But either way you look at it, this expansion is great news, as we're starting to see some hyper-competitiveness between Universal Studios and Disney, as Universal Studios Japan are currently building a Super Nintendo World area, which has been covered on Universal Newscast in the past. And Disney responded by adding a new Fantasyland expansion to Tokyo Disneyland, featuring a new Beauty and the Beast ride that will be similar to the Ratatouille ride coming to Epcot. So the final big question of all of this is, why is it happening right now? Well, Disney and Universal are both competing to be the big winners of the Summer Olympics in 2020 that's going to be hosted by Tokyo. And this is an unprecedented opportunity for both Disney and Universal to increase their respective resorts' exposure on a global scale in a massive way to an entirely new audience. So that's all the news about Shanghai and Tokyo Disneyland. But now let's jump right into a quick fire round of news. as yesterday Marvel finally released the first trailer for Avengers Infinity War. That will be hitting theatres in a big way on May 4th, 2018. And the next two Avengers movies are being classed by the studio president, Kevin Feige, as a major reset for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with Phase 4 of the Marvel Universe kicking off after Avengers 4 in 2019. And it will be based more in the cosmic realm, similar to Guardians of the Galaxy. Then we have the big casting news coming out about the live-action Mulan remake that Disney are currently in production of, with it being announced that the Chinese movie star Liu Yifei, and yes, I'm aware I've probably butchered that name, but she'll be cast in the role of Mulan. And lastly for today, it has been reported that the Hall of Presidents is still expected to open before the end of 2017. And it has been reported and clarified by Disney that the new Donald Trump audio animatronic figure will have a speaking role much like every president has since 1993. But now, it's over to you, the Waltoneers. I would like to know what you think that Tokyo Disneyland are going to build as part of this massive expansion to compete with Universal Studios. And whilst we're at it, let your imaginations go wild, as I would really like to know what kinds of new lands would you like to see come to different Disney parks around the world. And of course, as always, don't forget to leave the timestamp of where the hidden Mickey appears somewhere within this video, along with your suggestion, comment or opinion, to be in with a chance to win a DSNY Newscast pin. And congratulations to Serena for winning with this suggestion from the previous video, all about the rumoured new CEO of Disney. And don't forget to go ahead and subscribe down below, hit that notification icon. If you give this video a massive thumbs up, it really does help us out. And I've been Jack. You've been you, and I'll see you real soon.